Good morning, everybody. This is Travis from Carter Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the Forex market. This is another episode of Trade with Travis, episode 291. Today is Tuesday, May 23rd. As we go through and take a look at the market, I'm going to go ahead and put out the disclaimer, talk about it real quick, and then after that, we'll get to the chart. Sorry for being late. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from the education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. And understand that trading involves risk being able to make money, also involves risk being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you'll end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through and be able to take a look at everything, here's the economic calendar and what's going on with the charts today. I'm going to end up talking about that very briefly because we talked about it yesterday. But yesterday was a light day. I think when we left off, I wasn't expecting to be able to make a lot of trades, and quite frankly, I did not make a lot of trades at all yesterday, as I just felt like it was the market was kind of too, I guess what's the best word, too stagnant. We got a couple things that are happening today, and if you're unfamiliar with who I am, my name is Travis. I've been trading for 7 years at this particular point in time. Forex, indices, crypto, everything else like that. But yesterday, pretty light. Really didn't have that much news ended up coming out. We actually ended up having a lot of people going in and do a few speeches and everything else like that as we start today. Today was the first high impact news day of the week, and I think it's the only high impact news day of the week aside from, it's only. No, I'm sorry. Tomorrow going to be the last high impact news day for the week as we go through and take a look at it. In about a little bit later on today, we're going to end up having Fayette Logan end up speaking, and then after that, we're going to end up having retail sales from the New Zealand dollar. So that'll be something that we have to pay attention to as we go through. Do me a favor, if you're watching live, please let me know if my sound is good, as I'm just trying to make sure everybody can be able to hear me. And let's go ahead and get to the charts. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on with the big three, and then after that, we'll jump on from there. So let's take that off the screen. And let's go right here. Let's see, where's it? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, cool. So go ahead and go United States dollar index. I'm going to kind of breeze through these real quick. Didn't see that much yesterday, so I'm going to end up talking about what ended up happening. So the move that we were talking about in general was that we expected that the market was going to end up having a breakdown, and then after that having a little bit of a pop up. I thought it was going to settle a little bit more, and what ended up happening was that the market still ended up breaking a counter trend line break. But from that movement, the market has started to be able to move a little bit more now than what it did last night, which is good, but that means that I'm kind of late on the position on being able to jump in. So I do like what I ended up seeing with the market kind of making this movement for, say, overall, for us being able to turn around. I think anything above 12,919 means that the market is ready to be able to keep on moving. I can see that people are actually starting to be able to sell off at the top, expecting a little bit of consolidation from there. But I actually am interested in being able to look at the United States dollar for it being able to have strength this morning, for it being able to buy. So if we didn't make a move yesterday, this will probably end up being a day that I'll look at being able to make some type of move on certain pairs, just based off of what I'm looking at right here. So we are going to focus in on U.S. based pairs today. And then see if there's any other opportunities to go along with it. Oil is still in consolidation, but it's starting to make a little bit of a wedge going into this position. We've seen that it fell down to support, and since then we're kind of seeing something to the extent of this right here. Um, Starting to see something to the extent of that as this market's kind of moving. I expect there's going to end up being some type of breakout. And if there's any type of catalyst with what's happening with the market, or if there's any type of catalyst with what's happening from an OPEC standpoint, then we may end up seeing this market actually truly start to move. So um, oil will be something to be able to pay attention to, see if it's going to end up popping out to the upside or the downside. I haven't been trading this pretty much all year, but I do see recognize that there could be a potential move that's going to end up happening just based off of consolidation. So something to be able to pay attention to. Still not enough to be able to jump into a move yet off of gold. I mean, off of oil. Um, We take a look at what happened with gold. We end up talking about the potential of this market being able to push to the upside, but we also end up saying that, hey, if the market or the United States dollar was to gain strength, it would keep on saying this market start to fall down a little bit. Now, yesterday, what I ended up noticing was that the United States dollar index was in the sell zone, but we see that obviously the market started to pop up. So the indicator is not necessarily. We take a look at what's happening with the stochastic and everything else. It's not kind of moving indicative to what the indicator is actually saying, but overall, this market is moving towards the downside. If we take a look at what's happening right here, and being able to make a decision on what we want to be able to do. Um, uh, Obviously, this market is more bearish than it is bullish, so our thought process on what the direction of the movement was going to end up being is kind of off right now. So let's take a look at this from a standpoint and see where this market could go to the downside. From a downside perspective, from a 2 hour perspective, this market end up retracing just a little bit past the B, end up hitting the 127, and then after that start to pop back up. If you're not familiar with that, that's the 80-20 rule. Typically, what happens is that if the market doesn't retrace to the 382, then what will end up happening is that it will end up finding a little bit of hesitation right around the 127 as it's moving towards the extension. So my question, very simply put, is going to end up being this. What is today going to look like? Is today going to end up being the start of a new portion of consolidation, meaning that the market falls right here, and then after that starts to pop right back up? Or are we going to end up having a continuation of a move where this market basically falls down, hits the bottom of it, and then it keeps on falling down to the D extension, which is expected to be at 1929 for its overall move. So gonna pay attention to that. I can see how both situations could necessarily happen, um, but we won't know until we actually end up seeing the move actually kind of play itself out. But from a United States dollar standpoint, I do like what I'm looking at for this market kind of moving and continuing to move towards the United States dollar strength if that's going to end up being the case. Uh, Going to need a little bit more time to be able to figure that out though. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, see what's happening with Bitcoin. So last time we talked about this, we said that we wanted to be able to catch it right around 26.5. The market fell down to 26.5 a couple times, started to consolidate, if you're noticing that. And then currently, right now, it's actually in the middle of a consolidation point as we speak right now. So um, I'm going to say 26.5 is still the natural support as it was at the beginning of the month of March and the beginning of the month of March as this market is kind of weighing itself out, trying to figure out where it's going. The breakout point on this one's going to end up being right around, if it breaks above 27,600. Until then, I'm going to wait and kind of see how this market kind of reacts and kind of goes from there. But I do like what I see off of this. Um, it's holding steady and it's still keeping value, which means that the market has a good chance of being strong. Now, typically during the summer months, Bitcoin is not necessarily in its like movement phase, but we could see that it could start to potentially make that move, especially if there's some good news, just from um, a currency standpoint. Just how Bitcoin's actually moving. We don't know that yet either, but take a look at Cointelegraph a little bit later on. Matter of fact, let's take a look at it today, see if there's anything that I'm not paying attention to. I'm gonna have to hook. Okay. Crypto sees fifth week of outflows. That's from past weeks. Carnage. Coin shares. Public 32 million. Coin shares. Research. Negative sentiment revolves around Bitcoin. Basically, what it's saying is what I'm looking at on the charts. May 22 article, Cointelegraph market analysts suggested that the price of Bitcoin has been stuck for the past few weeks as traders are stuck on the fence and wait for the next potential market trigger that could decisively push Bitcoin either bullish or bearish. Well, that makes sense on what you're looking at right here as the market is in consolidation. So, yeah, we'll stay off of this one and see how that kind of plays out. Like I said, 26.5 was the area where I wanted to be able to buy. if you got in, then obviously you're up right now. You have a little bit of value. We can kind of see how this thing kind of plays itself out a little bit later on. But yeah, I'm not gonna make a move on that one yet. Let's go take a look at US 30, and then after that we'll take a look at yeah, after we take a look at US 30, then after that we'll keep on moving from there. So yesterday we talked about potential sales, potential opportunities being able to get in. Um, but we also ended up describing that this market was still in consolidation, as we could still see that this market still built up inside of this, area since it was in November, and kind of going, or kind of being in a range in between 34,003, I'm sorry, 34,400, and the support was 32,550. As this market ended up moving down yesterday, we ended up talking about a potential sell trade as the market was showing consolidation right here in this area. We ended up saying that if the market failed, there was two potential positions uh, to be able to work off of. The first one was that we ended up saying that the market could potentially fall all the way down to the 32,800 position, as a retest of this overall flow, and as we'll take a look at that previous trade that we end up placing in to the downside, where we end up making money off of it when it ended up going about 400 points to the downside as it was moving through this down channel. Now, currently, right now, as we're looking at it, we can see that the market has started to retrace a little bit. Um, there was another trade that we ended up placing in, but I think it was just a quick and short move. I don't know where that left off at. Um, oh, I don't know why it didn't keep it, but it was at 33,170 as the area to be able to get out, or basically this little hole right here. So the market has broke below the low volume node, ended up falling all the way down, found support right here in this area, which has kind of found support in this area a couple times before. Um, but did not continue to keep on moving to the downside. So if you're not in off this trade from what we ended up doing yesterday, matter of fact, let's say if you were in the trade from yesterday, you had a potential of being up 100 points. Currently, right now, at this particular point, you're only up 80 points, which is not bad. But we can see that the market is in a 1 hour buy zone, could have a potential of being able to U-turn just a little bit. So if you are a person that was mainly looking at this for being able to scalp and trying to get the potential of, if you're just only trying to get the potential of the first move, which is about 174 points. Currently, right now, what I would say is take a little bit off the table, and then after that, let it ride from there and kind of see what happens. We could see that the market could potentially do something like this, could have a potential pop up to the upside, fall just very close to where the market actually started. Then after that, continue to move down, especially if the United States dollar keeps on getting stronger. Um, but there's no guarantee that that's going to end up happening, at least at the beginning of the morning. But going back to what we ended up looking at when it came down to this United States dollar index by itself, um, there could be a potential move that keeps on going, as we end up talking about it right here. So um, as this keeps on going up, this should continue to keep on going down. That'll be the move that I'll be interested in more than anything else today. Um, and that was the only move that I got triggered into yesterday. So I would kind of wait off of that one and kind of see how it plays out. Still in the sale, but we'll see how. Hopefully, we can continue to see more movement off of this one in our direction. Last one, we'll take a look at NAS 100. NAS 100 completed its move earlier yesterday. If you end up taking that trade from the two positions that we end up talking about, you end up going big fish hunting with us, kind of like what we end up talking about. This 326-point move based off of both trades. We end up having two trades to be able to get into. One was a little bit earlier, right when they end up breaking the triangle. That ended up being for about 400 points. If you end up hitting that, congratulations. The other one was being a little bit more safe after we end up going past this little high volume node at 13,620. If you end up catching that movement, then you're done off of that as well. So great move being able to go after this gap. We talk about it all the time. Being able to go inside of a vortex area. This was your vortex area right here. Being able to complete it. We end up noticing also that we're going after the high of a previous move back in back in early last year, right when Jerome Powell started talking about interest rates over the summertime. Great move for everyone. If you end up taking that trade, currently right now, there's nothing to be able to do off of it. We'll wait and then come back to it. Um, so only potential move that's still out there currently right now is what's happening with Dow Jones. If you have not got in as of yet, what I would do is I'll wait off the 15 minute, see how the 15 minute kind of reacts. The 15 minutes in the sell zone right now at this particular point. If there's a strong counter trend line break, then I'll look at being able to put my stop loss. Um, I look at being able to put my stop loss below or above the overall VWAP and the overall um, moving average that we're talking about up here. Or if you just want to be a little bit more safer, put it at the top of the high volume node or the top of the peak of the high volume node at 33,350 and being able to go from there. So look for another counter trend line break. I'm probably not gonna. I'm personally not gonna look at adding on to this trade because I'm already in. Doesn't make any sense for me to add on right now for me personally, but I do like what I ended up seeing. Once again, broken counter trend line break. Start looking at being able to make a sale. You can place your stop loss at least above the VWAP, which would be about 80 points, or you can place it above the peak of the high volume node, which would be 114 points, going after the rest of the movement to the downside. You can be able to do that. If you like what I end up doing, please make sure that you end up clicking on that boost button as it attracts more people and allows us to be able to be noticed by more people and being able to go from there. I truly appreciate everyone being able to watch. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I'll see each and every one of y'all in the next video. Take it easy.